IP, they need to find a champion which can give Rookie that same kind of agency. Very few things can do that, like that LeBlanc. Probably looking at his Talia, he has gone towards the Tristana to less success, but maybe IG have suffered through some of the worst champions from NIP. NIP need to show their depth.
That will be it, and of course Invictus Gaming will be breathing a sigh of relief that they don't have to manage Rookie's LeBlanc anymore, and in fact, you'll see it's banned away from Nani on the side, who does have a side in playing that champion. What do Invictus Gaming want to first pick? Could be something like the Skarner, won't be something that NIP can manage, they can leave that alone for a bit.
Exactly, I don't think you go towards that. I mean, Griffith, getting Viego as first pick. Okay. Right, so, this is going to take away one of Aki's comfort picks. You can't have the Lee Sin either. He still has the Wukong. Could go towards that Wukong as well. And it's now going to be Dwarf who gets to go towards that Leona. We said that Photic, much better on non-traditional carries in the bot side. The Ziggs counts as one of them. I think this is better from NIP.
Definitely feels like a good combo. And we've seen the Ziggs-Leona combo be really nasty, actually, with your ability to lock everyone down and then satchel people afterwards into big combos. It's a lot harder to miss a Ziggs when someone is forced to sit in place for a solid 3 seconds. But hey, what would I know about that one? As the other side is Invictus Gaming, hovering a few things, but they will go towards the Skarner now before it can get banned away in that second phase. It's a very strong champion, so we end on towards the tankier option again. Certainly something he will be comfortable with.
So Vampire typically has gone towards, again, the tank engaged supports. Might want to lock in something like the Rel now, which he's been looking more comfortable on. Can't play that Leona. It means that you have a way in towards that backline. It doesn't really show your hand that much either, so that's just a fairly clean pick to lock in before the bans come through.
Rookie hovering the Yona. You've already got a really good combo to set up for a big all-in with the R buttons being pressed at once. A Solar Flare sets up for some very nasty lockdown and damage from the likes of Rookie and Photic. I was going to say Aki, it's just the Ziggs on his portrait right now, so that would be a bit odd to see a Ziggs jungle. So that second phase of bans. Just to see what will get banned here. I'm assuming it'll be bot lane bans from NIP because that's not locked in for IG yet. It's
the easy one, right? And the thing is, IG have very low damage right now. You have, you know, tank support, tank top lane, and the Viego is very conditional damage. You need someone to burst people out so Viego can do damage with his resets afterwards, realistically. So if you ban away stuff which could consistently do damage and give you some problems, Kalista could have been one of those on-hit champions that can kill through tank frontliners. That can potentially be a big thing for them. Do they want to ban away something which could bring out some good damage in the mid lane? Could ban away something like the Talia potentially from Nani?
That might be a solid option. It might be something like the Ahri, I suppose, if you're looking for that reset combo, even if it's fallen away from being as popular as it once was. I think we can also see IG's target bans have been the AP options for top lane, interestingly.
It's the counter matches for Skarner. It's less about the AP matches for top lane, because it's actually just, there are 3 champions that beat Skarner in lane right now, and that's the Rumble, already banned, you have the Mordekaiser already banned, and then the TF, which is the last of that trio. So basically it's just saying, look, 3M, buddy, you're going to have an easy time in top lane. Enjoy it.
And what does Shanji have available? You're absolutely right. I think I'd forgotten the Rumble was banned. I was looking at the other side of the screen. Apologies for that one. Now, do they want to lock in a top laner here and save jungle for counter pick is a question we have to ask ourselves. Might be sensible. Cassante would be something Shanji is incredibly comfortable on.
No, so LPL has typically done one of 2 things. You either pick in, again, one of those big counters, or you just match frontline, which is what the Cassante is going to do. So we saw the Skarner do a lot of work for Shanji, but his classic is Kushanji in the top side, and it leaves that, weirdly, last pick towards jungle, as you're saying.
Suggests Aki's got something a bit unusual cooked up. Could actually also look towards a Sejuani here and feel pretty happy about it with all the melee synergies, and that's always been an Aki special from his time on OMG. A couple AD carry.
Can we not do Jhin? Let's not do Jhin, folks. We need damage. The Zeri is much better. I was looking at that Jhin like, buddy, you're going to be hitting a Skarner, you're going to be hitting a Cassante with Skarner Jhin. That's going to be great.
Okay.
And we get ourselves Nani feeling it. We've seen I think this is our first Akali of summer from the LPL into Rookie's Yone. Assassin v Assassin in the mid lane. I'm looking forward to that.
That mid lane matchup suddenly looks very spicy, and Aki's like, okay, I know what the comp's going to be. Do I just lock Maokai now to try and make this Akali's life hell? Sejuani, I think, has a lot of really good synergies in this game too, though.
Yeah, I think locking in a front line makes a lot of sense, because you've locked in an Akali, not good at killing tanks, and you have the Zeri as the 1 bit of damage. I think NIP walk away from this draft feeling really good. They have triple front line, they have really good backline access with the Ziggs and the Yone, and even though they don't have as much consistent DPS, there's not that much on the side of IG. Arn needs to hyper carry this game if IG stand a chance of winning. Or maybe Nani gets some really good assassinations onto Photic to stop the damage being so one-sided. But I think NIP walk away with a much easier draft to play, and I think IG have got some very, very tall tasks available to them.
I think, for me as well, having Aki on that Sejuani, a champion that he found so much success with, critical success with, over on OMG, when it was paired alongside things like Reams, Yone, and Akali, those melee champions, similarly with Shanji in the top lane. That's a pretty good option here, I think, to get a little bit of that early brawling going that Sejuani can sometimes not have if you don't have the lane set up.
So, loading ever closer towards the Rift, NIP came out storming from Game 1. Game 2, again, it feels like they're heading towards more of their comfort. Aki on something that can engage, just throws body into the fray. Rookie having a skill champ under his wings as well. Definitely no negative for the side of NIP. Invictus Gaming, they won this matchup the first time around, but they are being pushed to the brink. Game 1 was not easy. It was not kind. It was an absolute demolition. They have to turn things around. They're only at 1 win in Group D so far. They need at least another to keep things interesting and see if they can get towards that Ascension group next time around.
Invictus Gaming leader there got himself a bit of a megaphone, I think, really trying to hype up his team. Serious energy coming out from the fans, looking to inspire their team to a better performance than we saw in Game 1.
So, IG, as we said, difficult comp to play. I am not looking forward to the difficulty of this Akali in this comp. It was picked into the Yone saying, alright, okay, skill matchup there, but it is really going to be difficult to get past. Leona Q stuns, even if you're just flying past, just tags an auto onto you, that can be enough. Of course, the Sejuani with the instant Q. Rookie even has his ult and his Q3. Shanji has everything. There's a million amounts of CC to stop Nani from getting to the backline. If he gets super fed, that might not matter. But this is a big game for the mid laner of IG, because I think he's probably got the hardest job available to him.
I think he's also going to be in a position now where he's going to really wish he grew up playing Windows 95 and XP, because he need experience with Minesweeper as well, because Ziggs is going to be laying down the bombs everywhere, and that's going to be hard to manage. You don't get to just smoke screen that.
Already, he's dodged out like 2 Qs, 3 now, and he's hit most of his onto Rookie with the empowered passive as well. He's doing well in the early lane, so he's got control there, which is nice. Doesn't, sadly, lead to that much, and you don't have junglers which can necessarily follow up or set up that easily in this mid lane matchup.
He's going to get level 2 off this wave. There's another
Okay, alright, okay. So Nani's really feeling it. He picks up that Akali against Rookie, one of the greatest Akali players of all time. Remember Season 8?
Oh, yeah.
Akali was like the most broken she has ever been. Nani goes up and says, alright, okay, down 1-0, who cares? Take out the Akali into a skill matchup in a really hard composition, and at least do something in early lane.
Just got the better feet. Rookie's in the right range. It's not like he's short on the blades, if you see what I mean. It's in the right range. It's just not hit them. Nani's just danced around him, and win those mind games, you win those kind of duels early, and it gives you that level 2. Of course, it doesn't change anything yet, but it's a good sign. You have to play and pilot this champion to a high level to succeed here, and that's a good sign.
Gonna say it as well. Really hard to dodge a Yone W because that thing just cleaves like a 45-degree arc in front of him. Thing is, though, with the mid lane matchup going in favor of Nani, Griffith thinks he can invade, and he actually can. Aki can't walk up to this. Might be able to get an inroad into mid lane, though, so Nani needs to be careful.
Giving up that red buff for a potential angle here. Rookie gets the Q, actually, through the Shroud, and Aki's actually saying, I'm going to look for a return invade here.
Oh, this is good for Aki. I like this. He's like, look, my mid lane can't really help with the jungle invade right now. I can't beat the Viego in a 1v1, so it has to be me doing something funky. Gets over vision, goes into Griffith's side of the jungle. He needs to be able to retreat safely, though. If Griffith walks into him again, Aki's going to run into some issues because it is the Akali who has the prio in mid lane. He's going to notice Blue Buff's gone, so now he knows he's in danger. Gromp is up, he should know he's on Wolves, which means that Nani can roam over.
There's a Blast Cone available. Smite's there, takes that, needs to be aware of what's going on. Aki takes that Blast Cone.
Yeah.
Sorry, Griffith takes that Blast Cone, flash over the wall. Aki's still got flash. I think he might be tanky enough where it goes over. Vampire's coming. Nani now along the way as well. Gets the slow. Flash for the Shattering Strike. Crash down. Donated first blood. Aki, just give up the wolves.
And he tries to go for too much. Can't retreat in time. But honestly, this early game is all from Nani winning the early trade in mid lane. We said that the Akali was going to be a really hard champion to play later on. But in the laning phase, Nani gets some value, pushes in early. Means that Aki can't have his mid laner roam over to help him on the red buff. Honestly, for me, IG, yes, they punish Aki from the overstay. But it started by this Akali in the mid lane.
Absolutely did. You know, just afterwards, Rookie got some better trades, but the damage was done. The wave was shoved in. Yeah, you managed to land the Q3 through the Shroud and then get a good W, all of those things. That's cool, but it's still going to cost you. There are a few flashes blown for that, in fairness, but we'll see whether that gets punished later on.
So now we're getting to the point where, yes, first kill's down onto Aki, who's, you know, lost his buffs from that first player, and we can see that Rookie's managed to regain some control of this mid lane after the early push, which means that Nani will have to teleport back sooner rather than later. Has also lost a cannon and a tower. Had to tell everyone, lost one of them. We saw that on screen, -1. But yeah, IG walk away with something from the early game. I think they need an early lead quite badly, though, because, again, this game's going to be quite hard for them to play out. This is, again, bare minimum, we'll say.
Yeah, I'm also then looking at this and going, it's a bit unfortunate that it's Vampire that picks up the kill even without the ignite. It was just, the damage wasn't quite right. I think it might have been an aftershock explosion. And as a result, you know, if that kill had gone to Nani or even Griffith, you'd feel a little bit happier about that.
Aki on vision again, so IG really keeping Aki down. And we said that for NIP. Aki is the litmus test. This is the guy which you can look at his scoreboard, and that tends to tell the story of the game for NIP. This is not a particularly good start right now. Griffith knows that likely Aki's in top side. If he's used his Q at all, Q cooldown is really long early. Griffith will be here. Aki might just get caught out again on the wrong side of things.
Got a wave coming, so it's be a 2v2 potentially. Think about going forwards. There's the level 6. Oh no! There's the permafrost. Doesn't get to use the impale. Shanji all out with the ghost. Griffith is here, but so is Nani. A 2v2 again. But a lot of those tools have just been used. Can Rookie come over? He's coming, but it might be a little too late. Flash on in from Nani. Gets the 5-point strike. Murders Aki. Shanji gets a Q. Looking for a Q3. It will in the end be the 1-for-1. As Griffith now looking for some more. The R comes on down, but now Rookie can look to go on forward, especially as Nani's used quite a few of those tools, but there's a permafrost available, courtesy of Sejuani's stolen body. But it's Rookie to about half as well.
I'm surprised that NIP get away with just the one death. It is onto Aki again, which is not great for the side of NIP, but you can see even in that fight, Aki's ahead in XP because of the camps which he's been greeting for, because of that Gromp which came through, so Griffith is still falling behind in individual XP values, or at least was before that play, which made that a lot more achievable for the Ninjas. Nani getting a kill out of that. Kill and an assist now is going to be quite scary for NIP. If this Akali gets any more gold, maybe we'll start seeing that point where Nani, despite him struggling against Rookie in a number of these games so far, could just get enough gold to overcome what could be a very difficult composition.
Dodge on that from Rookie. Now the turnaround might start coming on through. Gets a Q3 to interrupt the back, but won't go for anything more. Vampire tanky enough at this point with the aftershock to not fear that engage.
So Nani not able to get the best trade there. We can see that Aki using the fact that Rookie's pushing in, the draw is walking up to get himself again into the enemy jungle, take some of these camps, making sure that even though Aki was punished in the early game, it is not going to continue that way. Aki very close to level 6 now as well. Bot lane's pushed in, mid lane has control too, and then he's yet to push that one back out. So NIP, despite getting the early clear, getting something for their troubles.
Isn't quite the perfect execution. Griffith's just got level 6 though, so he's got to ult on in here, isn't he? Joe's in danger. Needs to get some damage back, but the turnaround is huge. Flash on out for Griffith. Will still be arm picking up a kill as he slides on over. Rookie now in danger because there's 3 people there. NIP way too far.
And they overstay again on IG's path for the map. They try and shut down Griffith. Photic's now caught out in the tri-brush. And NIP, what started as a great buff steal, leads to multiple kills being given over.
I need a replay because I need to see exactly how Arn and stuff got there. And NIP ended up just throwing a full combo that kind of only chunks Griffith.
Yeah, and you could see that at the start of that play. Rookie had mid lane control, Photic had push in bot lane, and that's great. But if you leave it like a minute, 2 minutes, it doesn't stay that way that long. So NIP giving over a load of kills over to IG. And this is a problem. IG's composition needs a lot of gold to function. Because they overstay, because even though Rookie managed to get the first entrance in this, it's not like Nani's not at the play. Arn is on Azeri, who gets to hop over the wall. It's a really big overstay from the side of NIP.
And the flash out and the ult from Griffith keeps him alive. He got level 6 off the Raptor camp. If that hadn't happened, maybe that looks a little different. It doesn't though, and the gold lead now solidly in IG's favour. NIP looking to claim a dragon here at the very least, and they will still be good in the team fights, but they cannot keep giving over this gold. It's going to get very scary. Aki does have the smite, and they'll back away.
And at least they get themselves that dragon. So, gold advantage to IG. It's spread across the map. It's not blown out of proportion anywhere completely just yet, but it's something that we need to just keep an eye on. The fact that Aki's died quite a bit, the fact that Photic has a death on him as well, we need to make sure that doesn't rattle them. NIP, they are a team which, again, has occasionally had these individual missteps from those two players in general. Griffith's going to take finally a chance to go into the enemy jungle and take a camp away from them. Typically, he's been responding to Aki being in his own jungle instead. Photic left alone in bot side, and Arm's probably just going to run with him. Gets the Magnet Storm afterwards. There's Arm pressing R, and Photic is just way too far. No ability to use that satchel charge to get out. And Arn managed to set up their wave in a really good spot, so Photic had to overextend to get towards it. Makes it so easy to combo up and kill down Photic. 0 and 2. What did we just say? Sometimes Aki and Photic can get themselves a little bit on the tilt streak and start losing multiple kills. Again, more gold going over to bad places for NIP.
I also want to call out a little something you said is maybe we'll have to hold on it because we've actually got a play happening top side, and I think this might just be a dead Skarner. That's a lot of CC. Trying to run away, but there's just nowhere to go, and Shanji is donated a kill.
Alrighty, so Shanji gets himself a good gold lead. That is important for NIP. Again, they don't need to be ahead in gold to win team fights. I think the composition is really good against IGs, but they can't have a weak front line. So Shanji getting himself a fair amount of gold against, you know, a largely physical damage composition. That's important for him. So NIP at least get something for the cross map.
That they do, but what I was going to say, before we were rudely interrupted by NIP making plays, how dare they do that, was you said, oh, this team might be a little bit low on damage, they're going to really require Arm to do work.
Hyper-carrying, yeah.
But look at this little scoreline here, there's a little thing called a Carl, and
yeah.
Is that a big 3 where the kills are kind of, you know, tallied?
No, funnily enough, I think it is.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah, Arn is the only real consistent source of damage for IG. Again, the Viego can be, but it's quite hard to do that because he's a melee range marksman in a lot of ways. So Arn needs to do a lot of work. Photic, this time at least protected on this bot side of the map. He's using his fast fuse passive on that tower, so Rihanna's at least wave clearing that. NIP, they just need to slow things down. I think again, much like the first game, except flipped in terms of the names. NIP are in a similar position to IG in the last one. We don't want to fight right now. You just got to slow down. You need to have a moment where you can actually choose not to fight. It's not necessarily either of these teams' specialties.
Yeah, over towards Pico again. Zuian is the target. Gets an E buffer this time before a permafrost can come on through.
Okay, so
forced away from the turret.
We'll see how quickly top lane turret will fall as well. But remember, very good ability to play around the fast fuse passive. We actually don't see the HP bar of that
there we
tower.
go,
It's going to go there, but when is the satchel going to come through? It's going to be quick. It's going to be quick. There we go. First tower going over to the Ziggs. Kind of courtesy of the satchel charge and his execute. Big gold over to Photic, and we did see 1,000 gold in the advantage for the Zeri. Now it's almost been even up for Photic.
Reminder as well with the changes to first brick. Get 300 gold for that now, which is huge. Solar Flare was looked into, tried to catch them on the shuriken flip, but it doesn't quite land. Nice idea.
Yeah, so Vampire and Drop need to see now the map has been opened, how they can start comboing up across the map and catching people out. Photic has his flashback, but he's still not someone that can completely walk up for free. He does have really good wave clear though, which will help NIP survive through some of the aggressive attempts. Dragon up in a minute, Herald up in a minute. I think a Herald is really important for IG because if you give the Herald over to the Ziggs, yeah, that's going to be a problem because you've got the satchel charge ready for that one too. But also, if you take that Herald, it gives you some slim opportunity to go towards mid lane turret. You don't have a great dive composition. You only have one ranged champion on your team, and that is your Zeri. It's not easy to get towards those turrets when people are defending it.
I think it's interesting as well that NIP have put so much focus into taking this Skarner to task, down a significant amount of gold now, and there is something to be said for the fact the front line from IG isn't fantastic if it gets behind, because Skarner builds HP, Rel is conditionally tanky, dependent on whether Aftershock and CC have landed, and that could prove difficult if people start falling behind.
Yeah. Sometimes gold leads can overcome difficulties on paper. Photic's going to keep wave clearing now. I actually think that first turret for Photic is really important because it means he's gone up to Ludens and you can just start wave clearing now. Arn's popped off his kill. Cole, that's really important. He does have that shiv. He's strong for this next fight. Dragon spawning in 20 seconds. Looks like we might get ourselves a fight around it. But it's on vision. Vampire doesn't have flash, which makes it a little hard to reach that Ziggs.
Ziggs with an item and a half can actually be a pretty nominal poke threat at this point as well. At level 9 will have maxed Q as well, so a lot of damage from those bouncing bombs.
Vampire's got his celestial opposition up, and here he goes, but it's only onto the jungle support.
And the teleports begin to fly. Again, not the best angle. Permafrost is in. Xion gets a stun, but again, not onto the best target as yet. Draw gets out. In goes Rookie, down a half HP. Nani does work, but the Permafrost on the other side. Kushanji strikes with a little bit of assistance from his team. Now Arn's in danger. Needs to slide over the wall. Nani likely going to be forced to Shuriken flip out too, and the Dragon will be NIPs to start with the man advantage.
Yeah, Arn's going to walk up and he's going to get chunked out, but this all started really with IG not finding the backline. It felt like really NIP showed what their composition should be doing. It's going to be hard for IG to reach the targets they want. Doesn't help when your engage is onto two very tanky members, and IG, I think this will be a bit of a wake-up call for them. They've lost the Dragon, even though they're ahead in gold. They lost the fight as well. NIP, this composition is really hard to 5v5.
Skirmishing, different matter, but that's not what's been happening over the last couple minutes. NIP have just slowed the game down a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe focused on those.
To.
Yeah, exactly.
They needed to.
Focused a couple picks onto Zuian, and Nani now looking for a bit of side lane play. Is about to find himself on the wrong end of Rookie. A flash, a Shuriken flip, and a trip out of dodge. Rookie has got a Q3, so should be safe enough to go, but does earn a flash there for that attempt on Nani.
That was a sick escape from Nani. If he gets hit by anything, the Yone Sejuani combo would have locked him down, but Nani, again, he had the balls to lock this in this composition. It's a Rookie as well, playing one of his best champions of all time. I don't think I'd have the bravery to do that one, but he walks away from that side lane all the same. Loses the flash, which is a little painful because the Kali is going to need that ability to close the gap. Now we get ourselves, we said the Herald would be important. It hasn't been taken just yet. It was the fight around the Dragon which decided things instead. IG, will they choose to hard focus here? Griffith back on the top side of the map after failing on that bot side gank. Well, no, he was just there to shield his Akali. I don't think that's fair to say, but still, IG don't get anything on bot side, but they could potentially look top side now for that Herald.
That's fair, and Rookie continue to stay in this side lane. Where is Nani? Not here quite yet. Worth pointing out, of course, the tower already fell in bot lane, so Rookie doesn't need to overextend to get involved. Both solo lanes have the teleports to potentially join what's looking like another fracas.
Vampire has flash. Zuian's on a flank, but doesn't have flash. Shanji's not in position just yet.
Aki being targeted. Teleports begin to fly. Shanji's here. The damage back is pretty good, but look at that Mega Inferno Bomb! Goodbye, jungle! Vampires don't do well in the sunlight either. Nani will make it the 1-for-1, but already the Ziggs bombs continue to fly. Nani gets damage, misses the perfect execution with a fantastic flash from Photic. And NIP win the fight, 3-for-1.
I think there's even 4 dead from IG. 4-for-1 in total, and the Herald. NIP wiped the fight again, and these engages are just not doing it for IG. They're trying to go onto the Sejuani, onto the Leona. It's just not working for them. I really think that IG have struggled to realize that they need to reach the backline carry somehow, even if it's hard to get through that front line. NIP are going to walk through with this Herald. IG just missed one of their best chances to snowball this game away.
Just fantastic stuff. I'm hoping we get the replay because Griffith goes in and is immediately popped. That turnaround damage was huge.
So, folks, if you are sat here with a flash on your Rel and the ability to get maybe Kali into the backline, why are we engaging onto Leona and onto the Sejuani? There is a Ziggs right there. I'm looking at Griffith and I'm looking at Vampire. Vampire with the flash should have 100% been able to put Photic into the dirt. It's a huge misplay on the engage to this fight, and I think that IG just don't realize where they're meant to be hitting things.
And Shanji, with all the attention he got, that individual lead he now has, just made Arn's life hell. There was nowhere for the Zeri to go, because every time you're in Q range, so's Cassante.
So now we're getting to a point where Photic, who was down at 2 different points, 1,000 gold down, is now 500 gold up, has 8 stacks on the Dark Seal, has 2 items, even though Arn had crushed in a cull before that too. Photic is online. He's not even been threatened in most of these fights at the start of it too. Rookie's getting himself a side lane turret, so a lot of the worries where there were gold leads before for IG are now flipping back to even or ahead for NIP. And then a place which we haven't had to talk about too much, Shanji on Kushanji is starting to really pop off. Almost 2,000 gold in the head in the lead. Vampire's going in, and again it's onto the front line. What's he doing?
Nani gets slowed down by the minefield, so it isn't quite there. Vampire is dead again, doesn't do well with Sunlight. Stake through the heart, Arn just about escapes, but he's dead and can't, or dead enough and can't contribute to the fight Griffith dies. Afterwards, NIP begin to make the combo stick in a way the early game wasn't working.
They have the Herald as well. They can get themselves a full inner turret. Remember, they have the Ziggs. The Herald Ziggs splash is so disgusting. There we go. Shanji's going to go drive this into the next turret. The next satchel coming up might just kill that turret too. NIP, destruction on the top side of the map.
Can you miss it? And suddenly, from being 3,000 gold down there, 3,000 gold up, NIP 2 dragons, and a brutal series of plays.
IG. We said they don't really know how to not choose to fight. I think we've seen that again here. I think that they're just looking for the first target in front of them, trying to get a reset for the Viego, without realizing that they just can't kill that first target. NIP have too much turnaround damage, and with the extra gold coming in from another tower push into that top lane inner, which is, you know, a huge amount of damage, Photic just says, well, if they're not going to engage with me, I'm going for a Medjai's as well. He's bought the book. There we go. NIP, even after Photic was down so much gold, has had a really important game on the Ziggs. It's been a turnaround series for the AD carry for NIP, and around this dragon, we will see if he can combo again with that next big ult from the Ziggs.
John, looking at Zuyan, who on this Skarner as well, 2 levels down on the Cassante, just cannot play frontline the way they need him to. Arn looking forward, but Rookie jumps on the Skarner. In many ways, they might just go for the kill here. They're going to get an Impale. That's onto Dwarf, but the tower goes down to Photic, who's just taking tier 2s. This is a 4v5 that NIP are currently taking, and they're winning!
And they keep going. They still have Photic's ult. That's a cleanse from Arn, but how much can Zeri do?
Magnet Storm afterwards is pretty good, but in the backline, Rookie gets the fate sealed. They're going to get the kill, surely. That will make it at least a couple back, though, as Nani gets a hold of Photic. Look at Rookie continuing to press Q. The Mortal Steel is dangerous. The Shuriken flip just wide. It's a 2-for-2. Q3 onto Zuyan, who flashes to get Knee into the wall. Can buffer back out. Rookie, a little bit low, needs to be a bit wary, but a flash over the wall. It's all a bait. Flash to get something. Nani gets that one. Over the wall they keep going. Shanji gets the Akali. That's the name of that champion, and Dragon doesn't fall quite yet. Wait, they're resetting on vision. They're resetting on vision. They keep going. It's never ending. NIP refuse to allow anything to stop them from violence.
IG, they somehow skirmish their way into an even-ish fight. The dragon doesn't actually go down, and NIP will have to go back to base. I think they could just teleport back in with Photic, but what the hell was that? NIP, while all this happened, took mid lane in a turret. They tried to just 4v5 their way to a victory. I think they just ended up getting lost in the source. Okay, so what happens at the start here? Ziggs is actually killing a mid lane in a turret. That's why he's not here. But the front line from NIP is so tanky. It's like, alright, yeah, whatever, we can keep doing this. We've got a Ziggs ult, surely we can use this. It's just quite disjointed. Nani gets himself on a really good flank, and because it takes so long for the kills to come through, Akinjo actually are quite low HP, and Rookie gonna ult out.
Kind of. Still got the E to work with. Gets a Q3 available. Solar Flare stops Arm from getting forwards. Nani a half HP. Glacial Prison into that massive Mega Inferno Bomb means Arn dies.
Oh man, IG, they try and shut down Rookie, but he dances his way out from the bot side. They don't have a Baron, they don't need a Baron. NIP keep walking forwards, and they have such good siege with the Ziggs, they can keep walking forwards.
They're gonna get some CC on the jaw, but the damage in so many ways is done. Huge Impale delays the inevitable. Zuyan dies, Tower dies, NIP will shove for an inhibitor.
NIP, this series today really just looks like they've come online. They found their comfort. Yes, Griffith is going to stay behind to take a dragon while NIP take an inhibitor. He's going to get, yay, an objective bounty. But at what cost? Go home. Your base is broken.
You need to be able to recall, actually. Okay, no, he'll be fine. They're recalling on vision here. I wonder whether IG with some teleports
Shanji could just out someone out. This is a problem. I think the Shanji, if someone goes too close to a wall, is going to be in a lot of trouble.
NIP is still here. They think they've caught them on backs. It's not. Flash away from the Mega Inferno Bomb. Permafrost being stacked on Griffith, who needs to make sure he buffers his ult well. Will not. Solar Flare afterwards, and down goes the Ruin King. On with the ult running, does some work, but cannot land an Ultra Shock Laser onto Shanji at the end of it all. And Photic just continues to threaten with bombs.
He keeps threatening, and it's so hard for IG to play. They needed the early lead, but they kept failing their engages in early game. They went onto the front line too many times, gave gold over to NIP, and now NIP are smacking them in the head with that gold as well. NIP, you have so much tank, there is no threat for taking any objectives. Aki's tanky, Shanji's tanky, Dwar's tanky on the Leona as well. IG, they have one last chance to dive onto the backline and see if they can walk away with a kill. Photic's half HP, maybe there's an opening there, but you're missing a lot of key flashes to even try that.
He's got a wall and a flash. Be pretty difficult to get towards him. Rookie going to be around and available. Draw gets onto Naney. Could prove difficult. Needs to back away, especially once the soul became unbound briefly. Baron down, and IG just can't find a moment to get onto anybody valuable.
Yeah, IG, they beat NIP in the first round robin. Second round robin, it is not looking like they are going to be finding themselves anything close to a return result. I think Naney has actually had a good game on the Akali compared to game 1. I think that's worth noting, but I think that Griffith has struggled without that Graves against NIP. I think that Zwiad has been out-tanked by Shanji in both of the games we've seen so far. Then honestly, the bot lane, Photo Control, we often have criticism of them when it comes to the top tier of LPL, but today they have massively outvalued Arn and Vampire. Maybe some like consolation to Arn. I think he's been trying really hard. In this game particularly, he's the one champion that feels like he can do anything. But what can you do when you're this far behind a goal against this many tanks?
He's got a Leandries and does about 5% of Shanji's HP, maybe. The more we look at it as well, poor old Zwiad, 0-6-3. It's just been attack the rookie. And I don't mean the mid laner. I mean the actual, rookie player. He's been really struggling to mitigate playing weak side.
And these towers are just falling one by one. So easy to take down with the siege. You can walk up with your tanks, shield for Ziggs hitting the turret. Zwiad is teleported in for a miracle flank and has done absolutely nothing. And it's a 4v4 in the base.
Glacial Prison slows Arn down, but doesn't hit him. Vampire dead, gets a Magna Storm. Arn now getting that lightning crash rolling. Is throwing a lot of burst fire, but he's just being chunked out incidentally. And Shanji says, no, you don't. Goes all out. Griffith needs to ult away, but there's still a Q3 on Tofo strikes, and you're out.
NIP, they have come to play today, and Invictus Gaming, sadly for them, looks like some of those fears that they would be the weakest team in Group D is coming into fruition. IG have been outclassed today and will fall to 1-4. Looking like they're sliding towards that Nirvana group in the next stage of LPL.
And NIP, on the other hand, will continue to keep themselves in the race for the Ascension group. They want to prove they can make it out of there. It hasn't been the easiest start to this split, but games like this are a necessary move to keep that dream alive.
Man, NIP, they've had to do a lot of adapting to the new meta. They've had to do a lot of adapting to make sure that they can find what their comfort picks actually look like. And that's been a problem. It's been a problem. They haven't looked good on AP junglers, which it feels like LPL has really taken to with aplomb. They've had to go back towards something more comfortable for Aki. I think that Rookie as well is starting to try and find out how he can best assist Aki in those duos as well. I'm just hoping that NIP can find that form they had in spring, because this team is exciting when they find themselves into comfort. Yeah. They're not always the most varied team, but when they find themselves comfort, games like this, they're very talented at skirmishing when they're on the same page, and they get the litmus tests work out for them.